And after 1 year being his lawyer, I became his agent, right? Like Bernabeu on a private jet, and next day I'm at the university sitting with students and drinking bad coffee. That was my life. I had my student card, right? Every contract is a new brain operation. When you say A, they say B, you need to be able to say C. It always have to be a win-win. It was a Premier League biggest deal at the time. We were at the World Cup 2014, then we were the Euros 2016. He played very good at the Euros, so the club wanted to renew the contract. When I went to doctor, I said, what is that? You're so much under stress. So your immune system thinks this hair doesn't belong to your head. That's why it's kicking it out. The mental part, people don't talk. If you work on yourself harder than on your job, you'll get very successful. You attract success.
Hi Erkut, welcome to Podball. I'm really happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I'm really looking forward for our conversation.
How are you doing? How is life in the US?
It's good. It's good. I can't complain. Sunshine is there, guaranteed. That's what I was missing when I was living in London. But I just came to the office. It's early morning here. It's late afternoon or evening where you are, I guess. So the day starts, and again with sunshine. So I'm doing quite well. I'm blessed. I'm happy.
Nice to hear. So I was at a point where I had completed my bachelor degree in sports management. I had already started interviewing people in Greek back then, and had built already a network from my football career. But I had one big question: how do I bring everything together? And that was the point when I came across your videos on YouTube.
Oh,
Exactly. And the point was that because I know how football can be, your content was so transparent, and that was the reason why it resonated with me. So now here we are.
yeah. No, that's first of all, thank you. That's great to hear. That's always great to have good feedback, about the videos we put out there for people. And I think openness and being open to share knowledge is very important for me as a person. I call myself usually a teacher, not an agent or a lawyer or writer, because I love teaching, I love developing others, and I love having a great impact on someone else's life. So, and the videos are just one part of that, right? It's just, and isn't it beautiful? You upload something there on YouTube, which is so big, right? And which will double the numbers of viewers in the next few years, I heard. Is like, and then you reach people like you, like yourselves, right? Watching somewhere in Greece, watching a video, and having even if it's a small impact and having something positive on you, it's amazing. It's just like, and I get this all over the place wherever I go, and I'm glad I've done these videos. When I've done it, it was during COVID.
Wow.
Because it was just like, either when there is difficulties, or people say, oh, we need to wait until things changes and then the economy is getting better, or we need to change. I said, no, we need to change ourselves. We need to adapt to the situation and do something.
Exactly.
And I just started recording videos with friends I know. And these videos are the videos which we started literally. It was just like everyone was at home. I said, guys, come on. Let's just share our knowledge with people outside in the world. Everyone is at home anyways. So why don't we create great videos? And we have done it live, actually. We've done live videos on YouTube.
Nice.
And that's how everything started. And we're seeing the impact, and we just keep going on.
And today you are a professor of sports law and sports management, a player agent, a sports lawyer, and an author. So what made you decide to study sports law in the first place?
So for me, I actually always wanted to become a teacher. All right, Christos, I always said to I remember this conversation with my dad, it's like so many years ago. He asked me what you want to do, like, and what you want to study. And I said, I want to be a teacher. He said, no, you will become a lawyer or a doctor. Like a typical immigrant family, dads couldn't go to school because of money. His son needs to make it, and so he in the neighborhood can walk around and say, my son is a lawyer, like they're living their life through us, and because they have so much sacrifice for us, for the kids, and they left their countries and, go to another country, they work for us, they created everything for us. So I felt as well, I need to make my dad and my family happy. So I choose a middle way, which is studying law and becoming a teacher at university. So that was a goal. I says, okay, I can study law. My father's happy. He can say everyone, my son is a lawyer or studies law. And I can do the academic career. Instead of becoming a teacher at school, I actually was aiming at becoming a teacher at university. So both are happy. And actually, I'm more happy, I think, today, because it's bigger to become a university teacher because it's more global. You can teach all over the world rather than if you focus on a school in a part, let's say in Germany where I grew up, you would be ending up in one of the schools in one region and that's it. So there is no much opportunity to go outside the world. Yes, you can go into a German school in another country, maybe. But other than that, a university is so universal. It's you can work all over the world, and I'm actually glad we had this discussion with my dad.
Nice. So how did you end up becoming an agent then? What was the path
Oh
that led
yeah,
you there?
so I just pursued the career of becoming a professor, right, at university. But during the time, I actually had like I remember I graduated from law school, and but I mean actually it goes back in the first semester actually of law school while I was studying law in Osnabrück, a small town at the Dutch border, German-Dutch border. I said to myself, I need to have already an insight into the football world because I knew I want to teach sports law and sports management, sports marketing. I knew kind of what I want to do, but I said to become a good teacher, I need to be in the practical world. I need to be the best practical teacher in the world. That was always like, I want to end up at Harvard. So I said, for that, you need to go inside a company and learn, right? Not just university, but also, so I actually got into an agency in Germany. It took me 1 year to enter it as an intern. Imagine it takes you 1 year to become an intern.
Wow.
But it was amazing. So I was actually a student, but I was already working in a sports agency as a young sports law student, right? Sports law student. So I've already seen contracts. I've already seen negotiations. So it's helped me. That was that time during the university. I have already attached, but I never had to go. I want to become an agent. That was never there. And then fast forward after graduating from law school, I have done my masters, one in Germany and one in Turkey. And while doing my masters in Turkey, I needed money, right? As a student, you have financially struggled. You have university debt in Germany. Parents' money is not enough. So, okay, how can I make money? Like, and then I'm like, okay, I have done my agent exam already in Germany with the German Football Federation, and I knew how to teach people very well. I know it's okay. I can teach very well. I'm a good teacher. I have good knowledge about how to pass the FIFA agent exam. I said, why don't I create a course for people in the Turkish community? Turkish Germans, Turkish Austrians, Turkish Swiss, Turkish Dutch, or also people in Turkey, because at the time you could pass the FIFA agent exam in the language as well in Turkish, right? So I actually started collecting documents from other countries where people giving courses, right? It's just like copying
Yes.
others, so to say, to say, what are you doing? You do it in Germany? Let me see the material, translating it into Turkish, right? And then I started doing it. I started literally building a course in Turkey, how to pass the FIFA agent exam. It was like a weekend seminar, Saturday, Sunday, and I didn't even have the money to create a website. I've agreed with someone for $50, and I said I want to give you another $50 when I make money. And I needed to rent a place in Istanbul, and there were these teaching rooms, right? And I didn't have the money to pay for 2 days. I said, look, can I pay you on the first day after I collected some cash? And I said, okay. And I had coffee and tea included, right? So that these courses actually put me inside the world of football agency because many parents and many other people who were already kind of representing players, but they needed so they kind of started a relationship with me. And so I ended up through this course meeting people and becoming an agent on the way. But it was never my intention. It was only I needed to make money to become a professor. But on the way, I ended up becoming an agent.
And then you ended up creating your own company, Grow, back in the day.
Yes. So I was first, after the master's, I went back to Germany. I've started my PhD in sports law. So again, I'm still doing my career.
Yes.
But I started already working as a lawyer in Mesut Özil's company in Germany at the time. So, and after 1 year being his lawyer, I became his agent, right? But I was an agent, but I was a student. So I was both in one. So I was being in a Bernabeu on a private jet, and next day I'm at the university sitting with students and drinking bad coffee, and going subway or like going like in a metro, right? That was my life. I had my student card, right?
Wow.
I was living a double life, right? I wasn't there yet. I'm seeing that glamour and whatever, but I'm a student and I love to be in the library. I love to research. I love to be around students. I love to be around professors. So that's my real life. That's what I love. The other thing was just like it happened to me, rather. It wasn't like it was never my approach. And in 2015, I finished my PhD. Then I moved to London, and then I said, okay, now it's the time to educate a team of agents, which I've done, right? And they're now operating the agency, which I'm not. So they are the agents, and I'm out of representing players. I don't do that anymore. So I've done it for a while because it came to me, and then I educated a team, and that team is now the agency, and they're running it. So I'm a partner there, but I'm not running it physically anymore.
That was gonna be my question because now it's a successful company. But back in the days when you started everything, how hard it was.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I was lucky to have a big football player, a star player, right?
Yes.
That helps to open many doors. But still, that doesn't help you to learn the ABC of the game. You know what I mean? You don't see actually the struggle on the ground, like with basic things. I was lucky to have a top Premier League player, and I had other Premier League players. I've broken big deals very early in my career, right? I didn't really work like with young players, build their career, come to a point, and then make a big deal. I was already there
Yes.
right away, right? That was kind of being lucky, but it was not my intention. As I said, I was like not focused on signing a lot of players or so. Never my focus. I was just focused on, how can I become a professor at Harvard? So I was still, and instead of signing players, I started teaching agents
Mhm.
and create a team. I said I need to build a team, and that team will build the agency rather than I build the agency, right? This is what I've done. Like I've educated so many agents worldwide. Some were working within our agency for a while, some left the agency, they're now independent agents. But it's great to see. It's a great network you create by educating people. That's the beautiful thing. But yeah, I know so many they struggled a lot. The beginning is difficult for many. For me, it was easier because I had a big client, but for me it was difficult to come there in first place in terms of studying, working. As I said, the time in Turkey when I needed money to do my masters, I was creating these courses, but I was also teaching students English, right? In the Turkish university
Yeah.
there, I was teaching at Starbucks in Bebek, Istanbul. There's a Starbucks still there. They say it's the best place in whole on the Bosphorus as a cafe place. And as a student, you pay $3, $2, and you sit there for 5 hours, right? It's perfect. You could. So this was a place where I was actually teaching students English. I was giving English lessons. That was one income for me, right? Money to make money,
Mhm.
and the other income was creating courses. I mean, that was a difficult time, right? But it was also a beautiful struggle. I call it the beautiful struggle because these moments will shape your character. These moments will make you who you are.
Exactly.
Either you just back off and say, "Hey, I'm not doing it," or you say, "Come on, you need to be creative. You need to do something," and that's what I've always done.
So you spoke about negotiation, and I just would like to ask you, what are the main points in a contract that an agent needs to pay close attention to?
I say every contract is different, right? There are no two same contracts because the circumstances changing all the time, right? The club finances, the player's age, the player's ability, the position the player plays, the team situation. Are they playing in Europe or not? How much TV money they have? How what was the contract before of the player? What kind of bonuses can be implemented? I mean, there's so many factors, right? So that's why I say every contract is a new brain operation, right? You have to always start from scratch and check the situation and the parameters and try in the end to work in the best interest of your client. Either you represent the player or the club, the coach, whoever you represent. You need to always try to work in the best interest
Mhm.
of your client and make your homework.
Yes.
Get ready into these negotiations. Don't go there without even knowing the market, knowing what other players earns. Knowing what a how can you implement a bonus. So you need to get prepared for that because when you say A, they say B. You need to be able to say C,
Yes.
right? This is the art of negotiation is another skill. It's another skill people need to learn, right? It's not You're not born with it. No one is born to be a great negotiator. It doesn't
And you
exist.
learn by doing it.
So again, yes, you learn a lot by doing it, but again, there are so many books about that, how to negotiate a deal, right? It doesn't have to be football. It could be from something else, like for example, if you negotiate with the club says, "Hey, come to the club, let's meet here for a negotiation round," right? then I would say, no, let's not meet in the club. Let's meet in a hotel or somewhere outside. So suddenly I change the location, because if I go to them, I'm like, going to their feet in terms of, and they are in their place where they're ruling that place, the
The
club,
facilities,
the
maybe the
coaches, the
coaches.
influence. You go there, you are influenced, right? Automatically, the coaches come in, other players, they say, "Hey, buddy, how are you doing?" Like, so you're intimidated. You're in their house,
Yes,
right? So they want to bring you there, rather than you might say, "Hey, why don't we meet somewhere else in a neutral place? And this hotel is in the middle. Let's meet there." Suddenly, they're not that comfortable anymore. They're not in their home,
mhm,
and they want to, they are more open to do things they might not like to do. So again, that's one small thing to give you an example, like how to build up negotiation.
and you also need to know with whom you are dealing with.
100%, 100%. You need to know your opponent very well. You need to study them. You need to know who they are, how they act, what they like, what they dislike. You need to check them online. What did they do? Everything is so important, like to know your opponent. And look, it always have to be a win-win, right?
Yes,
So people think like, oh my God, I went into this negotiation, I killed the sporting director, I got everything what I want. That's bullshit. You know
yes,
what I mean? That's like very rare. If you're Cristiano Ronaldo or Messi, yes, maybe. You know what I mean? So like there are exceptions, right? They get whatever they want. But the rest of the time, it's a win-win situation. They need to win. They need to have a good feeling, and you need to win. So if you get up and shake hands, both have to have a good feeling, and both need to say, okay, that was amazing. The player's happy, the club is happy, and we move forward. That's very important to, not to be too stuck on something, like dig yourself into a certain number and don't move at all.
yeah.
That doesn't
You
work.
need to be flexible, but also have in mind that you might have to work again with this person in the future.
Yes, 100%. That's why, I mean, I made mistakes like years and years ago. I ruined my relationship with certain people inside club because I was young. I was like firing, and I was like, I was like,
Yes,
you learn again. I wouldn't do things the same way I've done in the past, but again, it's a part of your journey. It's learning from these mistakes. Every time you do a mistake, you learn. That's not kind of a mistake. That's actually, you find out you can't do it that way. It's just finding out things, right? A mistake is that
yes.
actually. It's finding out it doesn't work that way. Okay, you go and try again. So it's just like learning. And if you're young and you're representing a player and you want to do the best for your player, you go in, you think you are the king there, and then you might say something, and you do say something bad to the guy opponent of you, and that's not good. It's, again, many young agents out there will make that mistake. It's just part of their journey. Just enjoy it. Just, but when you're out there, when it's finished, just finish it. Don't live that in the past. That's a big mistake many agents or people, lawyers, I met in the past. They always go back, oh my God, I should have done that contract, that. You know what I mean? And that's done. Like, let it go.
Yes.
You need to let go to move forward. If you keep going on with that, you'll not move forward, because your mind is with that negativity all the time. What happened in the past? I should have done this. Why did I do this? Why did I talk like this? Why? You have to say, okay, that happened. Accept it and go. You need to accept it. Acceptance is very important. Once you accept something and once you let it go, it won't bite you back. So it's very important to do it and keep going on.
Do you remember your biggest mistake in the first years?
Biggest mistake in the first years. I mean, yeah, so I had some WhatsApp messages, and when you message, when sometimes things get very emotional, and I wanted to meet someone in the club, and they said, "Oh, why don't you meet the other person in the club?" And I felt like, "Hey, why does he want to meet me?" And I said, "Who are you? Like, you treat me like that? Like, if I'm not like," it was very stupid. Again, out of emotion, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I reacted, and like, I have this Turkish blood. That's emotion pure. Like, you're Greek, you're also,
Yes. I
we
know that.
we we are kind of born. I sometimes say it's a good thing, but sometimes it's a bad thing. Like, the good
Absolutely.
thing is we are risky taking, we are emotional, we like go for it. We don't wait too long. And sometimes it's like we can go up very quickly, emotional, angry, and like we can destroy things. So we should be like, but again, I learned a lot about that. It's just like you learn. Like, it's all,
It's a
just
process.
have to experience it.
So I think every agent remembers their very first transfer. How did yours come about?
I mean, I worked so again, as I'm lucky, I worked on a big transfer right away, like 50
And was
million
it the
transfer
first
fee
one?
and
That
stuff
was the
like
first
that.
one.
Yes,
Wow. Yeah, that's a
yes, that was the first one, so it's big, and so I was in that world right away. As I said, I was lucky, to have a player, which I was first a lawyer and then the agent. It wasn't planned. Like, I mean, there were like some young players around. I helped with contracts, like under 19, under 17, like youth contracts. I have done before, right? And it was also nice. Like at Cologne in Germany, there was two youth players. I've done their contracts prior to the big one. Again, you don't get money of that. In the past, for under 18 players, you didn't get any money. You just invest in the future and see if something will happen or not, right? And then usually they leave you after 2 years because the contract runs out. All the investment was for nothing. This happens a lot in football. There's no protection in the end. But yet, I think the big transfer, like where I was involved, was like, yeah, that was in the millions right away. So I was lucky on that side, like. But I mean, I always say luck comes to the one who works hard and keep going on and push. Luck doesn't come to yourself like
no.
that.
I mean,
If I wouldn't do these courses, if I wouldn't try to educate and make money, then it wouldn't come. It's like it's how it
no.
is.
Of course, you just said before how much you work so many years just to get at this point. So it's not just a coincidence, or I don't believe in coincidence so much, to be honest. So hard work always pays
Yes,
off. It just happened to you with this transfer. So I think
yes.
you might have answered probably many times this question, but if you could take me through this journey, like from the time that happened, the when the club showed interest until the time that the player signed,
In general cases or in
in
particular
particular about
case?
Mesut Özil.
Yeah, I mean, again, what's interesting for listeners is probably when we re-signed the contract in 2018, right? That was a big contract. It was a Premier League biggest deal at the time. But people think as we sit with the club and talk in 2 weeks and sign a contract, it took over 1 year,
1 year.
right? So we were at the World Cup 2014, then we were the Euros 2016. He played very good at the Euros, so the club wanted to renew the contract. So, but it took a while. You know what I mean? It took a while until it was signed in 2018, right? So the journey there. There's a lot of up and downs, right? There's a lot of stops. It's like it's not magic or so. It's just like you want to try to find a middle way. You just play around, you learn. I've learned so much during that time. To be honest, it's like the club says A, you say C, and you try to meet at B, right? And the circumstances change it during this time a lot. The player plays maybe bad, then it's maybe not a good time to ask for more
Yes.
money, but the player does very well. Maybe it's a good time to say, hey, actually, we deserve that, right? So things can change. Media plays a big role, right? Then other offers plays a big role. If you have other opportunities that will help you, deal with the situation. Yeah, as I said, every deal is different, right? And on that particular deal, it took like over a year. Literally, we had offers to go to France or to other countries, so there was like opportunities on the table. But he was happy. He wanted to stay at Arsenal, and he didn't want to play also for another Premier League team. He just wanted to play for Arsenal, and that was like that's in the end what happened. We signed with Arsenal, and he kept playing there. But yeah, it's like, I mean, I lost a lot of, I wouldn't say hair. When you got these round things in your hair,
I do.
the I know the German word Kreishausfall, but I don't know the word actually in English for that. It's like stress.
Yes.
Like, when stress when you leave some hairs because of stress. This happened to me, like round patches of stress. When I went to doctor, I said, what is that? They say, you're so much under stress.
Wow.
Your immune system thinks this hair doesn't belong to your head. That's why it's kicking it out.
Wow.
So that's your kind of your immune system. So I must have been so much under adrenaline and stress just to deliver this. It's like it's mentally very difficult.
Mhm.
The mental part, people don't talk. People talk about the football players and their mental
Yes.
issues, right? Started in a couple of years. Now we're talking more about that, right? How is it mentally?
Mhm.
This is one thing like people underestimate for agents. It's like the pressure you have, not just from the player, from the family of the player. The media puts pressure on you. Like everything is like you don't know what will next day in the news. You know what I
Of
mean?
course.
if you represent big players, it's like representing 20 players in the volume, right? Because the amount of work with media, charity, business, commercial rights, sponsorship deals, marketing, the playing contract, PR, big people wants to meet the player. There's so much around. It's a lot. So it's not like it's mentally very difficult to keep that on. You need to be very mentally strong. You need to learn to become very strong, very, very strong, not to get down.
And what did you learn through this time? Like, okay, the first one was to deal with stress, to deal with this pressure that comes with it. Of course, you practice your negotiation skills.
Yes, I mean, of course, again, it's all learning by doing. Like in this world of football, you need to get into it. You need to learn swimming,
Yes,
and you need to see these difficulties. You need to see how unprofessional this business is, the football business. It's the biggest sports in the world. But it's probably the most unprofessional done sports as well around. Like because just imagine what kind of people work inside the clubs as well. We talk always about the agents, right? If you look inside the club and see, oh my God, how does that person become a sporting director? Or how is that person even a scout? How is that person a board member? Then you sometimes think, wow, and you need to deal with these people.
yeah, and then you see
And
their background that has nothing to do with the job position they have.
yeah, no, no. They just know someone.
Yes,
If you know someone, you're there. This happens a
of
lot.
course.
If you're the son of the president, you might be the sporting director. If you're the best friend of the president, you might be the agent they're always using. You know what I'm like? There's many things, and there's a lot of money in football. So, and when there's a lot of money involved, there will be a lot of dirt around. It's normal, I think,
Yes,
and it's an easy way to make money. If you're the president of a club and you know you'll have 20 transfers, and if you got in each transfer, let's say 200,000 for an agent, that's 2 million, right? Just in one summer. And then you make your son the sporting director and he shares the 2 million with the agent they use. So the son makes 1 million of agency fees and the other agent 1 million,
of course.
outside agent. So this is reality right today. This is the kickback business we are living in. You need to try or learn to swim in that one. So it's not easy. In some clubs, there will be like the gatekeepers, we call them. They will be there, they will be standing there. So and then you might get a call from these gatekeepers. They say, hey, this deal to this club only happens with me. And I'm thinking, wait, I just spoke to the sporting director. He didn't say anything. Yeah, but or I just heard there's a Premier League club that was just the other week. Can't give the name. The Premier League club sporting director is always putting the same agent into the deal when it comes to players from Brazil, right? He's always using the same guy. He's putting into the deal there, try to get over that agent, so the agent gets a cut and the sporting director gets a cut too. You know what I mean? So that's the reality where we are in it, right? That's football. And for some young agents trying to get into it and try to become successful, it's not easy to fight against these difficulties. You always have to fight against these people who want to come into the game and get their cut from your money, not because they do something, only because they know someone better than you.
Absolutely. And I have seen that happening, but I also have seen that I have proposed, let's say, a very good player to a club, and I get like a no as an answer, and I say, how is that possible? You know? And then I think, okay, I have in 20 years, I played professional, I played in an amateur, I played like, I lived everything, ups and downs in sports. And then, after 20 years being in sports, I studied sports management and I did all these kind of things. I say, okay, I do have an idea. I do know what I'm saying. But why? Still, they say no.
Yeah, again, they want to get the players from people they're working together with as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So they want to make some deals with people. They want to, because as I said, it's a kickback business. It's a money laundering business. It's a kickback business. You need to sometimes see they're buying clubs in certain regions in the world. I'm saying, why you buy a club there? Like, what is the reason for that?
Yes.
And then you realize, okay, they want to wash their money, clean their money. This happens in football a lot. And because there's money laundering, there's also a lot of mafia that involved in that, right? So if there's money laundering, mafia, so football is a perfect business to clean your money, right?
Absolutely.
It's no one will say anything if you spend so much money on deals and transfers. You just clean it, and then you just out. So as you said, it's sometimes we see transfers happening where even a normal person would say, "Why did they got that player? Like that doesn't make sense." Like. like I know, like from one guy in the past in Germany in the Bundesliga, he said suddenly there were like 3 players from Africa just arrived, and no one knew who the players were, and 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 they never played, but they got all contracts, and after 1 year they were gone. So someone made some money here. You
Yes.
understand? Someone makes some money here. So and I mean, but in Greece, never would something like that happen. Very
No,
clean.
no, no,
With
no. Yeah,
Greece,
for sure in Greece. The good thing is that I'm not involved anymore because I live, in Vienna. So I'm mostly for Austria and Germany responsible. But my partner, he's in Greece, and he has been telling me a few stories. But the
yeah,
funniest thing, I mean, it happens quite often. It's when I'm talking with sport directors, and they give me the requests. So we're looking for a central back, left foot, one against one. He has to be good. He has to be fast. He has to be good in the air. He has to be good with the ball. And then
mm,
I say, okay, how much money do you give? And they tell me 5,000, 7,000. So I say, you want a world class player for 5,000 euros or 7,000 euros. So, and that is when it gets a little, like you say,
yeah,
do I waste my time here, or should I
yeah,
remain persistent? Just keep
yes,
pushing until I make this deal because I do believe in this deal.
yeah.
I'm not wasting time from no
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, as you just said, like this is like, but that's why football is also so beautiful. There are stories which you don't get in any other
No, no
business.
stories. I got
Like
a lot
this
to
is
say.
this where you will have presidents going on the pitch and beating a referee, or going on the pitch with a gun, or like football has its own, or putting down a president, hitting a president. So this is, or the fans going inside and making just trouble. So football is like crazy, like in that sense. Things happening again. I would say there's still things happening where I'm like very surprised about that. I say, wow, this has really happened, like, and then and it tops it, and it comes even more
Yes,
and even more stuff. You're just like very
when you
surprised.
when you believe that you saw everything, and then it comes a surprise.
Yeah,
Could it happen?
yes,
How is that even possible?
yes, yes. No, football, everything is possible, man. That's the all possible game. Like anything is possible in our
Absolutely.
game.
So fast forward to today. Where is grow in terms of growth over the last decade?
I would say with Thomas Freismuth, who's running the agency, and I found a fantastic guy. Like, I mean, like from character, knowledge, is one of the best agents I've ever educated, if not the best, right? And that's why he's the CEO of the
Yes.
company. That's why he's a leader. He's not just an agent; he's a leader, and he's doing an amazing job. And when we started like 7 years ago, so he was my student, or I was giving a lecture at the university where he was sitting in the back and come and talk to me after the lecture. And then the journey started. Today is the CEO of the company, right? And we have written books together, like the How to Become here. You see his name is here as well, as you can see for everyone, Thomas
Yes.
Freismuth, right?
Yes.
So you can see he's there. So great to have people. I think alone you can win a game. Like Michael Jordan. I think that was Michael Jordan. Alone you can win a game, but together you can win a championship. So I think I've invested time and energy in people over the years, and not in business much. For me, it was like I need to invest in the right people. Yes, some of them leave and go. They go to other agencies. You get sometimes like, hey, why do you go? We've done so much. And then I'm feeling like it is acceptance again. You need to feel it, and face it, feel it, let it go. That's one of the sports psychologists like I worked together with for a while now. He taught me that concept. We need to face it, we need to feel it, and we need to let it go.
Yes.
So again, and yeah, with Grow, I'm really happy. It's run from Austria. We are very strong actually in the Austrian market and the South German market. So the German speaking market is kind of our core
Mhm.
business, I would say now. And but yeah, we have people in different countries, in Belgium, in Switzerland. We have also a colleague. We have a colleague in Colombia, Paulo. Different colleagues in different countries. Like we're like 7 countries. So we're like a global, small or mid-sized agency, right? But what we always keep our core values. We don't change on that sense, right? We are like how we are, and we don't compete with others. We compete with
Mhm.
ourselves. I always say, don't compete with others, don't look at others, just look on yourself and work on yourself hard. That's kind of compete with yourself every day, just to get better. Just to know of course know who is out there in the market, but don't look up at them and say, I want to be them, I want to be like them. It's just like, this when you start looking at others and try to want to become someone else, you already lose. So I
Yes,
think, yeah, Grow is in a very good position. It's a growing business. Every year it's getting bigger, and growing with the right people.
very
Like we
important.
might get another agent in one country in 1 year or so. So because on the other hand, I'm educating agents, so I can see which one
Yes,
would fit into our agency, right? It's kind of the educational side is kind of great to educate the right ones and bring them on board.
it's like an interview, basically. I mean, you see the
Yeah,
progress
yeah,
of
yeah,
someone and you see the potential
yeah.
and the hunger maybe that someone has because this business is it doesn't have a fixed income. This business is basically
Exactly.
the more you invest, the more
Exactly.
you become eventually.
Yes, yes. I, there's one saying and which I like a lot is actually it's like you need to work harder on yourself than on your job,
Absolutely.
right? And it's true. You need to work hard on your job. It's clear. You need to invest a lot of time, but you need to work harder on yourself. If you work on yourself harder than on your job, you'll get very successful. You attract success. You are like a magnet to success. So if you but only focus on your job, you're not. You'll make a living, you'll be fine, you'll be okay with financially. But if you work on yourself harder than on your job, you'll become very successful in life and very, also financially independent. It's very important to that's what I try to give the agents I educate over the years. I tell them, look, whatever happens, you can't stop developing yourself,
Yes.
and like all of them have to learn another language. That's what I'm saying. You have to learn another language. Just learn it, man. Just be another human being by learning another language. Communication is everything for us, to communicate with people, to open doors.
What's the best approach to a player if you believe in his talent?
I mean, yeah. So recruiting. So we're talking
Recruiting,
about how
exactly.
to recruit the
Yes.
right players right now. So how to get into that, and again, that's a process which it depends on what you or who you want to work with, right? So I say, or I believe, I would like to work with good people because you build a relationship for a long term, right? And I want to work with parents because, especially if it's a young player, you actually work more with parents than with the player, right? So if you approach a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 17-year-old, that means parents will be included, right? They're like a team behind the team, right? They're like
Of
there.
course.
And so that means you don't want to get a phone call from a father telling you 50 times a day, why didn't my son play, and he's the best in the team, and the coach is an idiot, why can't you make it happen, you're the agent, do something. You don't want to have that every day. You understand? It's just like it's just not nice. It's a waste of time, and it's just like, because some parents see their own future and the future of their kids, so they live their kids life more than the kids live their life. You know what I mean? They see it as a financially opportunity as well, many parents. So that's why there's a lot of stress and pressure put on you, also from the parents. So you need to be, first of all, knowing, like, I think it's important to know that it's a good player, but also very important to know what kind of family is it you want to approach. Is it a good mother and father you can talk with, and they value also education? Do they say as well, hey, if a football career doesn't work out, at least we should focus on education, that the boy or the girl has something afterwards, right? I mean, face the reality. Only 0.025% or so make it as a football player.
Mhm.
So you were one of the lucky ones or good ones who made it, right? And you play professionally or amateur as well. But how many making it? Look at the numbers. It's so low. It's so
Yeah, if we
low,
look at the
right?
percentage,
And
it's really low.
yes, look at the percentage. That's the reality. The statistics will not lie
No,
to you. So that's why you need to find players and families. I would always say, yes, they need to be good football players, but they need to be also good character and good family, because you need to deal with them every day.
absolutely.
And that's the problem. If you don't deal with good people, you have to stress in life.
I completely understand with you. And you spoke also about education. I dedicated, I think, more than 3 years to being part of an organization in the US called Athlete Soul, which helps athletes transition to life after sports. And we both know that footballers, even though they might earn a very good living, often feel lost once they retire. So,
Yes.
how do you guide your players in life after sports?
Yeah, I think the life after career starts actually with the career and not afterwards. So the first thing is, it doesn't matter how old they are. It could be 20 years old, 21 years old. I try to ask them, what's your passion? What are you thinking you want to do after career one day? Is there anything you like? Some says, I want to become a coach. That's an approach. Then I say, why don't you do coaching badges on the side? Why don't you already start? You have so much time as a football player in the afternoon. You can do a lot of online courses. Let's start doing your coaching badges. And why don't you train once a week a youth team as an assistant coach? Under 15, under 14, just be an assistant. Just go there, stand there and learn. You know what I mean? So do something. And being a coach makes you as well of being a better player. You understand it from the other side, so you get more smarter, you understand tactics, dealing with people, becoming a leader. Many things come with being a coach.
Absolutely.
And or some might say, you know what, I just want to open a coffee shop, right? I love coffee. And then I said, okay, let's get into that on the marketing side. Try to build your brand on coffee. Let's put it on social media that you love coffee. Go to coffee shops, make some photos, build a brand, or maybe we can already think about becoming a part in the coffee business somewhere, investing into it. You need to start early, right? The sooner you start, the better for the career of the player. So the transition, it's easy and fast, rather than you're off and wait a couple of years and then try to find something. So it's like, if someone like Mikel Arteta, right, at Arsenal,
Yes.
he was doing his coaching badges in the last few years of his career. He wasn't playing anymore or much. He wasn't playing that much anymore. He was still in the team with Arsene Wenger and with the players, but he was working on his coaching badges. He was training Wales, I think, under 17. He was the assistant coach of the coach for Wales. He was learning. He's got a practical. So when everyone was going into holiday, on an international breaks, he was going and becoming a coach. So he was using that time to do his licenses. So that's investment. Okay, that's the right approach. That someone should do a lot of things while you're actively playing. So you prepare the after career. Like one of my clients, Kieran Gibbs, he works now for Inter Miami, and Kieran, he was, for example, in his last year of his contract. And then we talk, what do you like? And the club was and the MLS was doing a deal with Apple at the time. And there was an Apple deal between MLS and all the clubs with the league. And they were looking for people working inside the clubs and doing content. And Kieran likes camera, Kieran likes media. We said, okay, that may be. And then we talked with the sporting director. And he wouldn't get a lot of playing time as well in his last year of contract. There was the opportunity of going to another club, maybe in the MLS. But he didn't want to go away from Miami. He was happy there. He's settled. So we said, okay, we changed the playing contract into a working contract. So we switched. He wasn't anymore a player. 1 year, he could have been a player, we said, but we signed a long-term working contract instead. So now he's on his second year of work for Inter Miami. And now he's doing content with Messi and Suarez and with Jordi Alba. So it's perfect, right? Amazing. So he is in a content hub, and he does, on top of that, he does content for ESPN as well. He does the FA Cups in England. He goes to Connecticut into the studio. So he's learning. He's learning more to become a pundit, to become a media guy. And yeah, you need to start early. You need to do that very, very early.
And talking about social media, I recently heard the podcast where Fabrizio Romano was interviewed, explaining the power of social media and sharing information first about transfers, which are about to happen months prior. So what is your relationship with social media, and how do you handle journalists?
Yeah, I mean, over the past 20 years, I wouldn't say I have many friends as journalists. I know many, of course. We know each other. We respect each other. I mean, calling someone a friend is something serious.
Yes.
And I would say I have kind of a friend in every country I worked in. One friend, one or two, which I say I can trust that person. I can give information. I can get information. There's a mutual trust, but that takes years and years to build, right? I have one guy in Turkey. I can call him anytime. He'll trust me. I'll trust him. A guy in England, I can call anytime. I have a guy in Germany. So there are some areas or countries like here in the US, which I built a relationship and built like a friendly relationship over the years. But you need to distinguish between a real journalist and someone who just does like want to get clicks on social media. They're not journalists. Most of the guys out there in football today, they're not journalists. Most of them are just behind some story, just say something and get clicks to make money. They're the click journalists, I call them, right? So, but there are really good journalists still there. Not many left anymore, but they are, and you need to be good with them. You need to build a relationship with them, like with sporting directors. You build it as well with these guys, you know. And but yeah, media is an area I say is very difficult to learn, man. Media is, I mean, you do media now with your YouTube and podcast shows, right?
Yes.
And I'm doing it here as well a little bit, right? Not like I'm not that far like you, but I'm coming slowly. So again, media is so powerful, isn't it? Like if you think about that, what kind of we were talking in the beginning today that you watched the YouTube video of mine, right?
Yes.
That's media,
Of
right?
course.
That's media. If you wouldn't watch it, if I wouldn't upload it, you wouldn't watch it. We might not even talk today. You might not know
100%.
me, like maybe,
Yes.
right? So this is the power of media, and media is very powerful, not just in politics but also in
Yes.
football.
Absolutely.
It can influence people's minds. It can, it can drag players down. It can help players to go on the top. So therefore, media is a key thing. Like, and you see the interest of media in sports is big. It's big,
Absolutely.
right? And you can how do you say that? You can kind of there was a word I forgot in English. Wash your sins through media, through sports. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Sports is very important.
Yes.
If a country has some bad reputation, so use sports to get a good reputation, right? And many countries do that. Media and politics go hand in hand.
So,
Media
what
is
is
so
the
important.
craziest situation you encountered with a paparazzi?
I I mean, there are many, of course, but one was like in particular. It was like after a Champions League game in London in 2014, I think, or 15, where Arsenal lost against Bayern, and there was a bad day. Like it was just like, and then there was in the front of the house, paparazzi was waiting of the player's house, and we went in. I've seen someone is lying down like this in the car there, and but didn't do anything. I was like already weird. Then we left the house, went to a restaurant to eat something, which was close by, and came out of the car, had a camera, click like these
Yes.
50, like shots at this in 1 second or so. You see just bright lights. And then I said to the player, just drive slowly. Just drive very slowly.
You had a bad
And
feeling
then the
about it.
journalist,
You had a
sorry?
bad feeling about it.
Yeah, because what this paparazzi guy has done is he pushed his arm towards the side mirror. He's done like this, and then he screamed, ah, like, you know what I mean? He
Yeah.
created a scene. There was nothing, right? What happened? We didn't even look. We just laughed, and he's just trying to make out something. We left, right? We went to the restaurant, had food, and come back outside the house. Police cars, ambulance.
Of course.
He just called police. They hit and run, right?
Yes.
And then, oh my god! So we went inside the house. Police guys came in. They made this alcohol test. Player didn't have any alcohol, and we're just talking, right? And then I said, look, they're all outside. There are cameras, right? I
Yes.
said, just get the cameras, the CCTV cameras from the state there, from the city council. You can see, like, and then they understood what happened, and it was just, this guy is trying to sell papers. He's trying to sell a story to the papers, right? This player hit a car, hit a journalist, and left the journalist there, right? Injured or whatever,
Oh
right?
my God. Yeah.
So, but the story is very interesting, Christos. It goes actually nice now. Like, what happened? We're sitting in this kitchen table, being like 7, 8 people, police, and then the owner of the restaurant came as well, right? And he's a nice guy. He's a Turkish guy, right? It's a kebab restaurant. He was and we gave this owner 4 tickets for the game on Saturday. That was like Wednesday, and the game was on Saturday, home game. So we gave him like 4 tickets that he can come with his kids and stuff. So, he's like this Turkish mind, I think, came up on him. He just offered the police officers these 4 tickets on the table. He said, hey, why don't you guys come to the game at the weekend? You know what I mean? And I'm looking at the player. The player looks at me like we got like very awkward, as if we would have planned that. You know what I mean? To get away from the charges or so. We're like kind of bribing police officers also, right? And I'm like, oh my God, Hassan, what are you doing? Like, and then the police officers took it. They said, oh, that's nice. We also Arsenal fans and stuff will come. Wait, the story goes on. Saturday afternoon, they're coming. The police officers sitting we had this suite like for 12 guests.
Yes.
There were 4 of them, and they were sitting there and standing before the game. And down, when people make always photos of the players' families and stuff like that. and there were like journalists, other journalists, making photos of the police guys being in the box, and this came in the news. Then they bribed the police officers,
Oh
so
my
they
God.
dropped the charges against them. Oh my god! So I had to go to police and give like a statement about what happened and stuff. I was like, oh my god! I said to the owner of the restaurant, "What have you done, man?" It's like it just created such a scene, and these police officers, they got a disciplinary procedure against them within the police. Oh my god, yeah, that was a very interesting experience, man. That was like yeah, but it finished then after a while. Yeah.
Crazy. So I watched your video titled The Life of a Football Agent, where you stated it's a 24/7 cutthroat business. People don't understand that
Yes.
you need to be available for players if they need something, whether they had a good or a bad game, even for their family
Yes.
members. So
Yes.
you are not just looking after a football player, you are actually looking after a whole family. And to manage that, you are not
Yes.
just an agent, you are a manager, you said. So how do you balance your life as an agent, or you used to balance when you were an agent, with being a husband and a father?
Yeah, very, very good question. And again, like because I'm lucky now, I'm here in the United States. I'm not in a day-to-day operation of being an agency. I'm helping my agents still if they need something, but I'm not in a day-to-day operation. I don't look after players anymore. And the good thing is, Christos, when I'm at home at 4 o'clock, 4 or 5 ish between, there's no phone calls anymore.
Yes.
Europe is sleeping. I can just leave my phone. I never look at it again. So the evenings belong to my family. I said, every morning I drop my son at school. I just dropped him right now before I came to the office and started talking to him. So I take him, I drop him at school, and then every evening, 5 ish, whenever I'm home, we have dinner together. Like every evening, I have dinner with my family. Yes, of course, sometimes I'm traveling for work, but generally, I would spend the time with my two kids. I have a 7 year old and a 2 years old, and with my wife's, and we have a dog. A Labrador is also like still a puppy. So we have this family life. This is very important for me to spend the time with my family, and this is very valuable because that time you can't get back.
Absolutely.
So that's why I've tried to do as much as work as I can when I'm in the office, to maximize the time, to be very organized, to do all the phone calls, Zoom calls, everything. So when I go home, I go like, okay, I've done all my work. And in all the businesses I have a great team. Again, I believe in building teams, and that team will run the business, right? And in different things I do. With the Sports Agent Academy is the same thing. I have two guys helping with that, one in Germany, one in England. So they would run the show, so to say. If I'm sleeping, they will contact the students, they will prepare everything. So yes, I live from good people around me. That's what I'm saying. I enjoy that, and that's why I can spend a lot of time with my kids and with my family. I'm also the coach of the team of my son, so I'm also a
Nice.
coach. No one knows that. That's the first time I'm telling this, right? No one knows I have all the coaching licenses for youth, like grassroots. I've done them all. I just finished the last one actually a couple of weeks ago, and this weekend I have on Saturday and on Sunday I have coaching education on the pitch outside,
Wow.
right? So yeah, so I take it really serious because I teach. I'm the coach of a team. Every Wednesday we have training. Saturdays we have game, and the season starts next week. So again, that's my hobby kind of, but I do it with my son. We go together. I'm his coach, and there's another coach we do together, and so it's amazing. Saturdays we have the games. So my team from spring, they kept with me. So we have here always 2 seasons: one in spring, one in autumn in America. That's the seasons are with the young players. And my team from spring, that was my first coaching experience in March. I started, right? I never wanted to become a coach. And same story like becoming an agent, right? Maybe I'll become one day
That's what I want to
like
tell
a
you,
Real Madrid coach. Who
You
knows,
start
right?
as a hobby and then it
Who knows?
becomes your profession.
Yeah. So they asked, is there any parent who can help? Because we need someone who can help with the kids. And I said, I will come to training and to the game anyways. I can help. I can be someone, a helper. I thought I'm becoming a helper person, right? They said, but yeah, even for helping, you need to make your grassroots license, the first one, right? For against war and stuff like that. Online, do the courses. Man, there's so much. You need to do like, it's called safe sports. You need to learn if someone's get injured, heart attack, like all the first, aid. You learn a lot, right? Which was interesting. And then I have done all this. Then I started coaching. We had a really good season with the team, and the parents. We created a bond. We had a after season pool party with the team. Like everyone was happy. So every parent comes and started saying, "We want to keep our kids playing if you guys stay the coaches." Right. So, and I'm like, oh my God. So like, this becomes serious. They all love it, how I coach, and the players love me. I said, okay, I stay. Like I do the next season. So now I still kept my whole team, and I got two new players.
Oh,
And
it gets serious. I'm telling you.
and yes, so
I see the fire in
yeah,
your eyes.
so now I'm heading to, like I do like the coaching licenses. I'm really fun. I like it. And being a coach on the side. I said, man, it's a hobby for me,
Let's see.
but it's a great hobby because I can combine, because you ask how you manage your time with family. I have my son with me while my wife comes to the games, and my little son comes also to the games on Saturday. It's like a family event.
Yes.
Everyone brings the families.
Nice.
When in America, they go to watch the kids here, they go with the whole family, grandparents, father, mother, uncle. It's like massive. Like in Germany, I played football myself, and I played high, right? I played like an academy. I was in a youth national team region in Niedersachsen.
Nice.
I was quite good. I was one of the best in the city in my age group, right? My dad never came to watch one single game. Like he was rather going to the Turkish cafe with his friends and play cards also, right? It was like the culture. There was in my time, there was maybe one or two parents who were coming and watching. There was no one there. Like here's like, man, it's a family event. It's unbelievable. It's different.
I could stay with you for hours, but I really value your time. So I have one last question before we jump
Yeah.
into the fire round. And basically, I would like you to share a few things about your books. The book that I saw in internet was How to Become a Football Agent, the guide, and your academy for training agents. And of course, to mention how people can find you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you very much for that. Like I think the book is a good start for someone who is looking to become an agent. If you are out there and thinking, hey, how do I can become an agent, right? What is the pathway to it? Then the book How to Become a Football Agent, which is today in the third edition, right? And it's started with this, with the small book, the first edition, right?
Nice.
It was 80 pages. Imagine 80 pages developed into nearly 150 pages, right? Second
Awesome.
edition. And this came last year. It's like nearly 300 pages,
Wow.
right? So again, I never planned that we will have new editions, but once you start doing it, it just get better. You get more knowledge, more contracts, more agents wants to contribute to the book, so it develops. And this book is a really good source for anyone. We actually translate it now into Spanish, and it will be published in approximately 2 weeks. So we have everything ready. It's now with the editor in England. So this book will be the same in Spanish, and it will come out also in German. That's the next one. So
Cool.
because we got asked by so many people, they want to have it in different languages. So yeah, how to become a football agent is probably the best way to start. And they can find me on YouTube, the Sports Agent Academy. We upload a lot of information there, especially if they want to pass the FIFA agent exam. They can learn there are a lot of information about being an agent on my website, erkutsogut.com. Go on my website, you'll find a lot of blogs, free content, read. There are like 10 mock exams for passing the FIFA agent exam. 10. You can learn them and you can pass the agent exam. So I think these are the platforms I would suggest for anyone. I have also a mentorship program. If someone is really serious and says, hey, I really want to become an agent now, I made the decision and I want you to become my mentor. That's a mentorship program I do. It goes over 3 months. They can write an email to connect Erkut, or just contact us on YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever they find us. My guys will get in touch with them. And I have the Agents Week. I didn't tell you that in the beginning,
Mhm.
Christos. We talk about the Football Week, which you will receive on
Yes.
Mondays. But you should also actually receive the Agents Week. It comes every Friday. It goes to over 2,500 agents worldwide. It's a great magazine for someone who wants to become an agent or is an agent and wants to develop
Yes.
themselves. We explain every week to do a deal in another country. We introduce every week another agent. We tell about the regulations. We help to pass the FIFA agent exam. So there's a lot in this magazine. So it's just they can get this on different platforms. They can just get the Agents Week. It's on LinkedIn or somewhere else. They can find
Mhm.
it and subscribe to it and learn from it. I mean, there's many avenues into it, but These are the basic things. And also, we created a course with the FBA, the Football Business Academy. We have two agents courses, which is also great. One is a certificate, one is a diploma. They can look into that. They're like online courses or online plus meeting me in Lisbon. The diploma is both online plus meeting me in Lisbon once a year to come together for 3 days. They can find all the information on the website of the Football Business Academy.
Perfect.
So yeah, that's what I would say.
Super. Ready for your fire round?
No, of course. Thank you for having me.
One thing you would change in this business?
One thing I would change in this business. Very good question, man. You got me there, so I need to think about it. Not change, maybe I would love that more educated people joining this business. More good people, character-wise, who puts the players or the client's interest in first place, should join this agency business and sees it as an opportunity. And I know it's very, very, very difficult in the beginning. It doesn't give you the revenues right away, maybe. But if you believe in yourself and work hard enough for a long time, you will have a breakthrough. Just keep going on. And I wish many I know have stopped. They were so close to make it happen, but they just stopped. And I wish they wouldn't. So just keep going on. We need more educated, great people around the world so we can do deals with each other. The more great people, the more they can do deals with each other without stealing money, without cheating on each other. This is what we need. This is what I would love to have.
Perfect. 3 skills you need to improve if you want to become an agent.
3. Communication skills, you need to improve. Anyone needs to be very good in communication. You need to learn how to deal with people, how to communicate, write a message, write a WhatsApp message, write a text message, write a great email. When you meet people, so communication is very, very important. Without good communication, you can't survive. Learning language is one of the most important key things, like to learn another language. So I speak 4 languages fluent, and I want to start the 5th now, right?
Nice.
So I want to start with Portuguese now after Spanish. Just keep learning. So don't stop learning languages. It will open you many doors around the world. Be a good networker. It's like meet with people, keep in touch with people, and then execute that into success. Be a good networker. You can learn that from many books out there. These are 3 skills I would tell every agent out there to learn.
Perfect. The transfer you are the most proud of?
I wouldn't say there's a transfer where I'm the most proud of. I think the best moments are when young people sign their first professional contract. I'm proud of these moments when you see their happiness and the family and financially. I think this is more worth than someone is making another 50 million. It's just it doesn't satisfy you. It doesn't fulfill you. Every time when I had a young player who made the breakthrough, become a professional player and was happy, and you had contributed to that, that's the best moment. That's just amazing. Even the money is not very rewarding, but that moment is unbelievable. It's just wow, you just had helped someone to become, a professional football player and earn decent money. So that's something I would say is amazing.
Now, the biggest transfer you were involved, but never happened?
Everything I worked in happened. How dare you asking me such a question? Of course, everything I work in happens, man. No. There are many big transfers, like brokering deals, especially not my own players, but other players. I tried to broker some deals with other agents together, and that didn't happen. A lot to Turkey, especially, or to the Premier League. But there is no particular one I would say I remember now that was the biggest or so. I don't feel like, was a 100 million deal or 50 million. I don't remember something like that. It's just like many other deals, because it's in the end, if you broker a deal, you work with many agents together, you have to split the commission anyway. So it's get less and less the more agents are involved, right? So, and you don't participate on the transfer fee only if you are representing the selling club, maybe, that you can get a big fee, but generally not, no.
And last but not least, your goal for the next year?
Yeah, so my goal is to get my 4th novel out. So that's my one of the biggest goals, the 4th novel, and to have a media company up and running. The Football Week, the media company. So we're doing the website right now. I want to have a media agency, a media company. That's and grow all the other businesses I have, continuously grow, and all the agent academy, of writing more books. I think there will be published 3 more books this year. So get my books up to 10. But the novel is very important for me because the novels can become movies. So the goal is because my first novel got approached this was approached by filmmaking companies,
Nice.
Deadline. So I didn't sell the filming right yet. So I want to write 1 more book and then we'll sell it as a series. So that's the goal for 2024-25.
I'm looking forward.
So yeah,
Great.
so get them to Hollywood.
Yes.
That's the goal. And and 1 more step closer to become a professor at Harvard, but still, one.
Did you say professional coach?
No, a professor at Harvard.
Okay.
But you never know. Again, things happen in life you don't plan. Maybe I get a role as an assistant coach at the MLS team next year. They need a good assistant coach, and then they fire the head coach, and suddenly I'm the interims coach for 3 months, and I do such a good job. They say we want to keep you, and then
absolutely in football everything can happen. You never know.
As we talked in the beginning, we're coming actually back to the beginning. If you know someone very good in football and they like you, they will make you the head coach of a big team. So that's what's happening. So if you're one day surprised why I'm the head coach of a Premier League club, you will think, how does this happen? Not because he's very good, because he knows someone very well.
That's a good one. So yeah, thank you so much for finding the time and providing all this knowledge with me and with the people who are gonna watch this episode. And for sure, we're gonna stay in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, and good luck with your. It's a great thing what you're doing. I like it, so it's great. So keep going on.
Thank you very much.
Being an agent, being in media, so it's great. So and good luck with everything. And you're Greek, we are like. We are like neighbors. We are arkadaş or whatever you call it, right? So you need to be successful. It makes me happy and proud.
Thank you so much, my friend. And wish you a very good day. And hopefully we meet in person one day.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. When you're here on the West Coast, always welcome. Always.
Have a good one.
You too. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.